Thanks for joining us for this episode of The Investigators. I'm Vanessa Murphy, investigative reporter at KLAS TV here in Las Vegas. I have a very special guest with me, Margarita Edwards, Executive Director of Nevada Child Seekers. Briefly tell me what your organization does.
What we do is we help find local missing children here in Nevada, and we assist families and law enforcement in the recovery of our missing children.
I'm going to go to a brief clip. It's sort of a montage from previous stories we've done with your organization.
8,000 kids go missing a year just in Nevada. That's 20 kids a day. That's too many. We've had some of our missing child cases, actually, the child's on the streets and they saw a flyer with their face and they said, oh my gosh, I didn't know anybody cared about us. We are in the streets, we are on the strip, we are in different parts of southern Nevada. The faster they're located, the faster they're led to safety. So I want to find our kids before they're exploited, before the predators get their hands on them.
You are boots on the ground.
Yes, we are, and I'm grateful for that. There's only 3 of us on staff, but there's 100 more, volunteers out there that are our voice, so we're very fortunate.
So I was looking at your website. You have on there more than 8,000 children, as we saw, reported missing in Nevada each year.
Correct.
It's difficult to wrap my mind around that number.
Imagine 8 high schools filled to capacity going missing. So even if that doesn't even resonate in our conscious, but again, the good news is about 93% are found safe within 24 hours. So I believe that should also be tagged onto that astronomical number. And it comes with the families, searching for their child, or it comes with friends of the family and organizations like ours who will go out into the community and share flyers and get tips and bring them home safely. So the number's really high. And, our goal at the end of the day as an agency is to make sure that missing child, has a voice. There's a lot that have gone cold. There's a lot of cases. There's about 200 cases right now that are cold right now, and we don't have any information or any updates on. And that's why we exist. We exist to be their voice.
What would you say is the most common reason behind a child who goes missing here in Las Vegas?
So statistically, they are runaways. They are young people who have walked away from the home. 13, 14 years old, those are the age groups that tend to go missing more often. And when I say runaways, I say that because these are children who are running away from something. Something's either happening in their life, something's either happening at home. But we need to figure out what's going on and make sure that they're not on the streets and then they're not drawn to an unsafe relationship, that they're not being trafficked, that they're not being exploited. And at the end of the day, our law enforcement, they're overwhelmed. 8,000 kids go missing, but when it comes to adults, we're like tens of 20,000s. Those are cases that, those detectives really just have to spend their times on. So for us, at the end of the day, the runaway is the one that keeps us the most busy, but it's also the one that keeps us the most inspired, because when we do find them, they reach out and they want help.
Now, sometimes we connect with you about a missing child because you are usually boots on the ground and involved somehow. But I'm sure it must be frustrating for parents and guardians when a child goes missing and it's not on the news.
Yeah.
And one of the issues from someone who works at a news organization is there are so many runaways, and you feel bad because we can't put every single one on the news. But if we hear about perhaps an unusual circumstance, and all of them count and all of them are unusual, but I'm talking about maybe foul play, believed, maybe, did they get into a strange vehicle? Did something happen online? And that sort of, unfortunately, only the ones we typically highlight.
Correct. And I'm a part of this community as well, so I want to just really talk to our community and let them know. You can go on our page right now at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You can share these flyers. They're on our website. So it's not, I'm sorry, this is just how I feel. It's not a news station's job to do our job. So if you want to really advocate for the missing, I need your help. So find us at NevadaChildSeekers.org, find our social media, share our alerts. We post them every day. I just posted 3 today. So let's be their voice. No more excuses. Let's find our kids.
So you said you just posted 3 today. We're recording this in February 2026. You just posted 3. Anything you can share about those circumstances to give viewers an idea?
Well, so far what we know, especially with our open missing child cases, is they're kids that don't feel heard. There's a lot of red flags that lead up to a child going missing. Parents, you're doing a great job. I know you're, working, you're loving on your baby, but sometimes it is those devices that are causing our kids to self-harm, to have, body image issues, to feel like no one understands them. They're going down a dark hole, and social media is the enemy when it comes to that because it's feeding them untruths, and a lot of predators are on there. So that's what we're dealing with right now, is just really trying to heal our children and our youth. Social media has done a really horrible job at raising our kids. So again, it's our job to raise our children. I'm the mother of 4. I'm a grandmother as well. And, I'm that mom that's just going to be honest with my kids. Like, I'm watching you on social media. I downloaded all the parental control devices that they've never heard of. I can see who you're texting. I can see what pages you're liking. So parents, we have to be really proactive to this. We have to really monitor our children and also engage with them. Like, when's the last time you just unplugged yourself, you put your phone down, and you just took your kid to the park? And I'm talking 13, 14, 15, 17-year-olds. I mean, I'm not talking about a 5-year-old, because we're so engaged when they're little, and we're so overly protective when they're small.
Yeah.
And we kind of start dropping our guards the older they get, and it's actually the opposite. We need to be even more involved. And I just know from experience.
I do want to ask you some questions about what you would allow for some guidance of parents. Can I just throw some quick questions at you?
Yes.
You're in the hot seat. Okay.
It's fine. I'll be honest. So are you ready?
What age do you think is appropriate for a cell phone?
Honestly, a cell phone, 13 and over. Devices, though, like an iPad, if they're playing video games and things like that, totally different, right? Because they're not communicating with the outside world, or so you think. And then the Roblox news stories come out. Any game with a chat option, you're setting your kid up to talk to strangers.
Okay,
Any game.
Roblox.
Oh, yeah.
I have to ask you about this as a mom.
Uh-huh.
Is Roblox just like a hard no, or is Roblox like you can play these certain games in there that I've approved?
Oh, no. Because you can't filter out a stranger. Would you be okay if your kid was home alone and there was 47 grown men in the house? The answer is no. So that's what's happening in those chat rooms. They're pretending to be kids. There's no way for you to know. So Roblox is just the hot topic now. It's any video game that has a chat feature. So disable all chats. Find those games that are really safe. Play with them. Oh my gosh. That's how I figured out Roblox on my own about 3 or 4 years ago was unsafe. I was playing with my nephew, and I was like, whoa, who are you talking to? We're trying to find each other in this world. If you've ever played Roblox, it's a hot mess. But just you can go into any room, you can go into any area and talk to all these random real people. They're not those AI characters. These are actual human beings behind those little characters. So yeah, I would just say do your research. I don't want to scare everyone, but again, devices, social media, and the internet. It's unregulated. I don't care, how advanced we are. I mean, I work here, and I've encountered, people trying to talk to my daughter, online and things like that. Yeah. So even with filters, just do your research, or you can reach out to us and we'll talk to you about like the apps that we really like. I do like Life 360. They're not paying me. I have a membership. We pay every month. But I like that a lot because I could see when she's on the bus, when she's, arriving home, it's just a better day today. This stuff didn't exist 5, 6, 10 years ago. So use all the resources you can to make sure your babies are safe. So again, social media is right now one of those tools that sadly is harming our children.
Let's take a quick break. Welcome back. Margarita Edwards with Nevada Child Seekers joining us. We've talked about you are boots on the ground. You had some really solid advice for parents. I want to get into more specifics about Las Vegas.
Okay.
We have the Las Vegas Strip. We have a lot of tourists. Can you talk about how that comes into play and specifically the danger of trafficking?
Okay, so I think our city has done a great job at not putting their heads in the sand. You know, we understand what we are. We're a tourism community. But I think it's been really great, especially when you land here and you're in the airport and you see all these billboards that say, you know, anti-human trafficking, you know, children are not for sale. We've done a great job at saying, hey, if you're coming here to do something nefarious to a child, you better not, because we will find you. But yes, Las Vegas and also a lot of the metropolitan areas, wherever there's a concert or a male-driven sport, to be honest, like boxing or racing, sadly, that comes with that world. So there are, you know, that underground world of really dangerous people that are exploiting our children. And it's our job to find them no matter what and to be their voice. We have helped with a lot of national cases. Maybe it's a case from the East Coast, but for some reason, you know, the law enforcement let us know that they might be on their way here. And we found children before they arrived and before they were exploited. We're just really blessed to have that support. But again, yes, parents and families, as a local, I know we see it, but we don't want to really understand it or feel like it's going to touch our children. So why not sit down and have a conversation with our teenagers and just say, hey, if someone's online or if a person or a family member or even somebody that you know, it doesn't have to be online, is being inappropriate or makes you feel uncomfortable, like let me know, because that is how a lot of our children are lured. They're lured by somebody they thought they knew as well.
Is there any story, a child you found, maybe a family you helped, that you can share with or without the name that really strikes a chord with you?
There's so many, and I'll never use names because they're going to grow up to be wonderful adults. They're going to change the world, and you know, that's just my heart, and I know this. But there's about 3 or 4 real strong cases that stick out. And it's usually a child that comes from a broken home and was being exploited within the home and was running away. And sadly, they ran straight into what they knew. And they were hurt and harmed. And, you know, we're out there sharing flyers and we're with the community, just being their voice. And our volunteers know they're trained. You know, if they see something, say something. And in this one instance, a volunteer just said, this didn't feel right. They were handing flyers out right here on the strip. And so they sent in a tip to us and gave us the cross streets. And they said, I'm not sure if it's her. You know, it just didn't feel right. So our job is not to, you know, get in the way of an investigation, but it is to engage our detectives, law enforcement, whichever police department's in charge of that. So, yeah, our detectives went out there, rescued her. And, you know, those are the cases that are real, you know, because they were in front of me. I saw, you know, firsthand that it wasn't going to end well. You know, this child really needed us. But, yeah, there's a lot of cases that they're children. So it's not like, you know, they're a number to me. I really, our organization connects with the families. And, yeah, so there was, you know, an example that I gave, which that child was being exploited. Then there's the rescue stories that are so great. Like, our city does a great job at protecting our kids, you know, from the shelters like Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, from engaging them in, you know, other activities or giving them the trauma therapy that they need. Like, that's one thing that I do notice that we offer in Las Vegas. I've held cases from California where the child was found here, and then I'll say it, we send them back to California, and I keep calling, trying to figure out if they're getting those services. And, you know, it breaks your heart when someone drops the ball. So at the end of the day, Las Vegas doesn't drop the ball when it comes to our kids.
What is that like when you see a guardian and a child reuniting?
Yeah, you're going to make me cry.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You just kind of know why you're here, you know? Like, if we weren't looking, who would have found him? So it's really emotional because I'm a mom.
course.
So it's good though. It's beautiful, and I wish there was more of that. I wish there was cameras there. I wish like our followers could see that. But again, we have to protect our kids. I can't, put their private information out there. Once that child's rescued, we make sure that they're getting the services they need. But again, they're just a child, so there's a lot of confidentiality that comes with our organization, and it is beautiful though. It's a beautiful moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take another break. Carlos brought the tissues for us. So
Thank you.
We'll be back. Welcome back. We are continuing to speak with Margarita Edwards about your incredible work.
Thank you.
So I want to show our viewers, you have these, which, there we go, so many faces of missing children.
Yes.
It's just seeing this, it's just incredible that they still need to be found.
Yes.
And I know you are working so hard to find them. Also on your website, though, you had some, I don't want to call it cold cases, but they possibly are cold cases. One, Francione Pierre, missing in the 80s. His mother was charged, spent some time in prison, but police believe she knows where his body is, perhaps. Then we have Zayla Walker, missing 2018. I believe she'd be about 10 years old now. Her dad in jail waiting for his trial and his proceedings. Another individual, police believe connected. You think there are individuals who know where these children are.
Yes.
Does this get frustrating for you?
Yes, it does. Because, I've seen a lot of cases, and I know detectives have seen hundreds and thousands of cases, and these are the ones that stick with you because they were so little. And I've also seen some stories of, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there was one, I want to say in North Dakota, where a child had gone missing. They were about 2 years old, and then they were found when they were like 40 years later. So there's those miracle stories too, and that's
Yes.
our prayer for these two especially.
Yes.
Is that there's a miracle, is that there's someone out there, not only that knows something, but that maybe they're alive. Maybe you're watching this and, that picture looks just like you when you were little.
Yeah.
Those are those cases. The internet thankfully does that. Something strange. You're just turned 18, but your person won't give you your social security number, or your person won't give you a birth certificate.
Yes.
Contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or call 911 locally. Tell them your story, because we've heard it all and we've seen it all, and we really will try our best to connect you. And especially if it's a long-term missing child case like that, where you actually find out that it's you, we've seen those cases as well. So yes, it is frustrating, but there's more hope than fear at the end of the day. And I know by keeping their alerts active, I know by posting
Yes.
on their anniversaries of their missing date, it's going to circulate. It might touch somebody. And if you're watching this and you know something, it's time. It's time to bring them home.
Absolutely. I want to talk about your super search, which you had in February. You
Yes.
just had it. What do you want to share about it?
So we highlighted about 36 of our local critical cases. So these are going to be, those missing child cases where they've either gone cold, where, we're in fear of them being exploited. So what was really beautiful about that is, we connect with the families. They give us information. They help us search. Our volunteers search. During the super search, we were able to locate 13 of our 36, which was amazing. And they're getting the help that they need. They're, being loved on. And I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. And these big events work, and we've been grateful that it's not only a one and done thing. We're going to have another one at the end of March called the Saturday Search. So if you missed our super search, we're going to keep going. So please log on to our website, nevadachildseekers.org, fill out our volunteer application. We'll get you plugged in and trained. But again, we never stop searching, but we've seen these larger efforts are the ones that make the biggest impact.
And I want to talk about this child ID kit, which
Comes with everything.
Comes with everything. To be honest with you, as a parent, obviously we should all do this, but there's almost this part of me that feels hesitant that you don't want to put something like this in the universe. I sound so superstitious right now, but do you ever get that?
But you're sharing what every parent feels. Yes,
okay.
Yes, and how you're explaining it is completely normal. So a child ID kit in the world of like law enforcement it's a DNA kit where if, for heaven forbid, something were to happen to your little one, they're going to match fingerprints, hair, and DNA samples, right? But I can also put it out there like this. Without this DNA kit, we're just going to base it off of a picture. Now, if time has passed, an example would be like the Zayla Walker. The DNA is going to let us know if this person's them or not quickly, instead of the running around trying to figure this out or trying to find a family member to get that DNA to maybe do a match. We also work closely with the Clark County Coroner's Office. Now, that is a job very hard. I send all my love out to them. But they also find the hope in this, where they have connected people long-term who thought that their maybe lost loved one was deceased, but in actuality, it's a person with no ID that was found in another state and maybe lost their memory. I mean, there's been things like that, and they're alive. So this DNA kit shouldn't be looked on as something to be fearful of. It should be something that we just do it. And it's so easy. I mean, literally, we can mail them to you. They're free. So if you would like a few, or, you're like me and you just have a bunch of kids and you want to make sure to get it all done one time, we can send tons to you. I mean, we've sent about 3,000 up to Reno. We have them for you. They're free. Just let us know. Contact us on our website. We'll send them out to you. But they're super easy and they're not scary. So you're going to do the fingerprints, and it comes with this little pad right here, which is it's called a baby footprint pad. It's what they use for babies when they, do their birth certificates. But you actually would use this on their fingers. And then there's a little swab, and there's a place for you to collect the child's hair. And then you just keep it. And at the end of the day, when you're 107 and your child's, 80-something, and they find this cute little DNA kit with their finger. I mean, it's not a scary thing. If you make it light and you just say, I'm going to just do it to be safe, it's a better outlook, and I do hear you though. A lot of our parents do the, I don't want to do it. I don't want to think about it. Oh my goodness. But,
and how many parents have you communicated with who thought this is not going to happen to my family?
So we help with over 500 cases a year, 500 cases of missing children locally. So I think maybe 6 have an actual DNA kit.
Wow.
Yeah, so I do understand the fear, but it doesn't help when it happens. We need you to actually do the DNA kit. So it's another tool in our arsenal to go find your baby, at the end of the day.
Any other advice for parents and guardians?
Yes. So most importantly is your baby, right? So I can list red flags all day long, but your child. When they start to act differently, maybe they were really charismatic and funny and silly from, 0 to 8 years old. Then they turn 9 and they shut down, That's a red flag. Something happened. It doesn't mean physically. It could mean mentally. Something's going on that they maybe, saw something on the internet or something happened physically. I mean, I would just say, your child, look for red flags, address them in a loving way. I do see a lot of our cases where a child has run away because they got their phone taken away.
Oh, boy.
So that was something that I kind of was like, oh, this is a new trend. Nothing was happening other than they got bad grades.
Okay.
But you took the phone away and they flipped out. And we did the research on this. We saw what it was. And so in an adolescent's mind, that phone is literally a part of their body. So it's almost like you cut off their arm. And you might think I'm being dramatic. You could research this. You could ChatGPT this. You'll see what I'm talking about. In an adolescent's mind, that phone is literally a part of them. So I'm not saying it's wrong to take the phone away because they have bad grades. But where were the conversations leading up to it? what were the alternatives, right? It's just a new day. So I want to say a lot of parents are doing a lot of things right. And thankfully, even though our caseload is high, we're finding them. But definitely keep being a good parent, keep being consistent, but watch out for those red flags and address them in a loving way. And you'll get more out of your relationship with your child as well.
And in closing, what advice do you have for kids?
I love you guys. Oh, they're just great. I mean, we've had kids help find kids. Like, this is where I'm like, okay, I keep getting inspired. I'm going to keep showing up. I've been doing this for 13 years. I just want to say, if you're scared and something's going on, just tell a trusted adult. A lot of you look to your friends for advice. A lot of you look to, maybe somebody who's not in the family for advice. And at the end of the day, you have a school counselor. You have people in your school or even your family who can help you, but make sure they're an adult, because those are the best ways to get the best help.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
you for your good work.
Oh, I appreciate you and for all the coverage you've given us and our families. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.